Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames. In this video, I'm trying to get some information for clarity because last year, about October, November, I was, scrolling on Twitter when I came across some information that suggested that Mr. Ari Emanuel was, sued by a fellow colleague of his for, um, you know, racial slurs or racism based on what those, alleged court documents was showing. Now, we know that with social media, people can fabricate documents, they can fabricate stories. And I haven't seen any response to this from the media. I haven't seen anything that suggests that this may or may not had happened. So it would be really good, to get some clarifying information into this because I'm saying, if Ari Emanuel actually did such a thing, then why is it that, what he did was a crime, but what he did was not a crime? So I want to talk about it and see if there's anyone out there who has any information that can help me to close this chapter and to get the correct information so I can move on from this because honestly, it has been picking at me since last year. And it is even more bothersome to see that, Ye has to be held accountable for, the similar thing while Ari Emanuel, could just pay $1.5 million to that colleague, settle out of court, and be able to move on with his life when he is not given the same luxury when the crimes, are just the same. Now, I understand and I can see that, and I'm not attacking anyone. It's just that it's what I can see based on what has been happening for the past couple of days. And, even if we used to say that these are allegedly, we cannot say it's allegedly anymore. We can openly say that when it comes to the Jewish community versus anyone else, the Jewish community is always right, everyone else is always wrong, because that is what the world is demonstrating against at this point. And that is what I see on my observation. That is what many, media outlets are reporting. People, in England, they're marching in support of Palestine. I see where, members of the Jewish community, Jewish journalists, they're telling so many lies. And the lie is passed on to the President of the United States. The President of the United States then tell the public this lie and then had to backtrack with an article published via CNN saying that, they actually made a mistake, right? Which means that the information that he said he saw, he didn't see it and it did not exist, right? So based on that, I can say that, when it comes to a minority group of people versus Jewish community, the Jewish community will always stand on their right and, everyone else is wrong. Forgive me for saying that, but that is what I have observed for the past couple of days. So the allegations that was brought on in that document that was shared on Twitter last year, it said that, and this is just me paraphrasing, it's not verbatim as to what was on that document. But, as best as I can remember, it is said that Ari Emanuel, he was taken to court by a fellow colleague for two instances of racism, one in which the colleague was talking about, like a swimming trip, and Ari Emanuel was like, black people can't swim, right? And when I did the video on that last year, there were people in my comment section saying that, he was joking. But we know that there is sensitivity around a minority community, and we know that when a joke is coming from someone else to someone from a minority community, it's not just a joke. It is, like racism, right? And I just want to know if the allegations are factual that he was, guilty of racism, towards someone that is black, and did he actually settle out of court to the tune of $1.5 million? Because if that's the case, I'm saying, why is Ye being treated differently? I would like to see a sit down with Ari Emanuel and a group of people, because I cannot understand, like, if he did that, why is Ye being treated differently? I want to understand that. Now, the second thing that I want to understand is that, even if he's not guilty of that alleged racism, the other thing that I would want to understand is that why is it that the moment that Ye was canceled, and Ye told us that Ari Emanuel specifically, I remember the post that he made on, I believe it was Twitter or Instagram, if not both. Why is it that Ye said after his cancellation, Ari Emanuel is going to ensure that people consistently come after him, sue him, so as to make him go broke and completely homeless? Why is it that we're seeing where that is actually happening? Is it that Ye is psychic? Um, because we cannot say Ye is telling a lie at this point. It has to be one of two things that is going on here. It has to be Ye who is setting up those people to sue him to make it seem as though Ari Emanuel is actually doing what he said Ari Emanuel would have done, or it is the fact that what Ye was saying Ari Emanuel would have done to him is actually happening. And if it is the case that what Ye said Ari Emanuel would have done to him is actually happening to Ye, wouldn't that be illegal? Isn't that a terrorist attack? And isn't there some type of law against that? Because, when you look at the cases that are brought against them, many of them are not even making any sense whatsoever. But with the legal system, we know that they're going to look over these cases. They're going to take it to court because that's how the legal system works, right? And if it is the case that Ye is right, with what he said Ari Emanuel was going to do, and if Ari Emanuel is actually doing it, why is it that no one is paying attention to what is happening to Ye? Why is it that there's no police investigation against Ari Emanuel? Because again, that would be like, some form of retaliation. He has already asked businesses to cut ties with Ye, which they have. And every time, Adidas says something good about Ye, Adidas is not allowed to speak good about Ye either, which I find to be, a form of bullying tactics, because when Bjorn Golden said that he doesn't think Ye is anti-Semitic, that is someone speaking about another individual from their perspective, based on the person that they have come to know. So, how do you tell an individual that a person, your perception of a person is wrong when that person has experienced that individual in a whole nother way than what he was a few months ago? And I also want to know, why is it that, irrespective of the fact that Kim Kardashian told us that Ye has been diagnosed, professionally diagnosed by doctors to be bipolar. Why did you ask the media not to take Ye's mental health into consideration, but still yet the world goes on to celebrate Mental Health Day? Why is it that Ye should be treated less than a person and not equally as you or any other living thing on this planet? I have a lot of questions and I'm just genuinely I'm asking for answers because a lot of things is not making any sense, and I'm a black girl and I know that we're all people, and I know that we're not inferior to anyone, but it is scary to actually think that, someone who is, Jewish, someone who is lighter, brighter, has more rights than someone who is dark. Is it that we're slowly being pushed back into racism? Because my history here in my country teaches me that Jews were once slave owners. Is it that because you're Jewish, you're lighter, you're brighter, you still see yourself as being superior to us? And are you still looking at Black people as slaves and therefore, not deserving of equal treatment and respect? I just need some response for closure because a lot of things, it's not adding up and it's really not making any sense to me. And if something keeps, picking at me, and if some things are not adding up, I'm going to reach out for help, and I'm going to reach out and ask questions. And that is what I'm doing in this case. I'm just searching for clarity. I'm just searching for truth. And I'm just asking if anyone out there knows the truth, or even Mr. Ari Emanuel, cares to even provide a response via the media. Is there any other content creator out there who, has always shared similar concern, you know, and is burning for clarity and truth just the same? I really want to know. And that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay blessed. See you all later. Bye, guys.